Discord bots are weird things. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But sometimes you just want to know what's happening. And that's why in today's video we're going to be making a stats command to see how long your bot has been online and how much resources your bot's taking up, because all of that matters as soon as your bot gets big. Additionally, the code used in today's video has been slightly inspired from Cuberizer. He's a member on my server. Thanks, I guess. I'm not sure if he made all this code by himself or if it was inspired by Stack Overflow. I'm not gonna judge, and I'm too lazy to do research. So yeah, but anyways, let's get straight into the video. So here I am in my Visual Studio Code, or whatever coding editor you use, and we're gonna start off by installing a module called psutil. So you just want to do pip install psutil in either your command prompt or your terminal. It's basically the same thing. And as you guys can see, I already have it satisfied, so it's not gonna really do anything. But for those of you who don't, it will. And this will allow us to grab information for our bot on all of the data that we've been using. So what we want to do is just do import psutil, just like so, and then we're going to create 4 variables. And those are going to be us, and all of these are going to be default to 0, and ud. Now you can change these to whatever you'd like. If we want to do t instead of u, you can do that. So like time seconds, time minutes, times hours, and time days. We're going to default these to 0 because every time the bot restarts, we want to restart how long the bot has been up for because it restarted. That's pretty simple. And then we're also going to import tasks up here. Now for me it's already imported, but for you it might not be. So just be sure you have it. So if it looks something like this, add a comma, space, and then tasks. It should already be pre-installed with Nextcord, so you won't have to install anything else. Now that we have that running, we're gonna use it by creating a tasks loop. And what this is this task, or it will run this function every X amount of seconds. You could set this to whatever you want. We're gonna set to 2 seconds, so it will run every 2 seconds, this loop, and then yeah, that's gonna be it. And this will update our uptime counter. So what we want to do is we want to do tasks.loop. And that's why we're going to need the tasks portion of the library here. And then we want to pass in seconds. So every 2.0 seconds, you could change this to whatever you'd like. If you want like 6.9, it will do that. Just be wary, the shorter it becomes, the more load it takes on your bot. That's why I think 2.0 is a good place, so it won't overload your bot. But you can also still get pretty accurate results. Now we want to create a function underneath it saying uptime counter, and we don't need to pass anything in here. If you are in cogs, you will need to pass in self, just letting you know that. And yes, this does work in cogs. Make sure this is not in the class if you're using cogs, so it should be above the class, like near the imports if you are using cogs. And then what we want to do is we want to create global. And what this will do is actually it'll create all of the variables over here into global variables accessible from anywhere around the bot. That's really useful. And then we're going to do us plus equals 2. So every 2 seconds it'll add, I guess, 2 seconds. And actually it's not us, it's ts. I got confused with that. And then it'll do if ts equals 60, then it'll reset the counter for, I guess, how many seconds it's passed, but it would change, I don't need any of this, but it will change the minutes to 1. So now 1 minute has passed. And we're going to keep on doing this, so it's going to be another if statement saying if tm equals 60, tm equals 0, and then set equal plus equals 1, so we'll just add 1. I forgot to add the plus over here, so yeah. And this should also be t. I keep on forgetting that, and I forgot an extra equal sign. Now that we have that, actually forgot the accidental, I guess, indent. And now we can do our last one. Now, if th equals, this time it's 24 because there are 24 hours in a day, add that, do th equals 0, it'll reset that counter, but then it'll also add 1 to the day counter. And that's basically, it's kind of repetitive, but it gets the job done. So now what we want to do is, because this is actually a function and it's on the task loop, we want the loop to start as soon as the bot starts. So we can actually add it below the onReady function just by doing whatever the function name is, dot start. Even if you're in, I guess, cogs, it'll be the same thing. It's just dot start, nothing special. And then, but before we do that, before we move on to the actual command, we want to make sure that the loop doesn't get too ahead of itself. So we can do uptime counter dot before underscore loop. So before the loop starts running, async def before, and then we can add uptime counter. I'm just going to capitalize this because we are using camel case. This is up to your preference to change it. You can change all of the names here. And then in here, we just want to make sure, wait, on client.wait until ready, like so. And then if you are in cogs or if you're using bot, then add a self before it. And if you're using bot, just replace this with bot. It's pretty simple. And yeah, this will just make sure the task loop doesn't start before the bot is actually online. So, you know, just in case it happens, and make sure it doesn't. Because just because the file's running doesn't mean the bot's actually online and fully working. So that could kind of mess with it. But now we're gonna get started on with the actual command. So in order to get started with that, you want to do climb.command and then do async def and whatever you want to call it, right? So we can call it stats. And then all you want to pass in is ctx. You don't need any other arguments. If you're in cogs, add self here, like so, but we're not in cogs, so we don't need that. Now we want to import all of our global variables again that we had. So ts, tm, th, and td. And then we want to create an embed. So embed equals, and we're using Nextcord, so Nextcord.embed. Now, if you're using anything else such as PyCode, then you won't have to change this, or you might even, I don't know. This works for everything, so you don't have to worry about that. Title equals, now let's just say my stats. And then I'm actually gonna try on this embed because you're gonna need to, like, you want to display everything properly. You don't want to just rush through it. Now what you can do is embed dot add underscore field, and then we want to pass in a couple arguments. So the first one will be days. So we're gonna pass in days first, or how many ever days has passed. Now the value for this will be td, and we're gonna keep this to inline true. It's defaulted at inline true, but if you ever want to change it, you can just by changing this to false. Okay, so I didn't want to bore you guys with the, I guess, tedious process of just adding them manually, so I went ahead and did it off camera. So this is what I have so far. Now you might see that I have true, 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 and then false, false, false. So I will be showing you, and actually this can just be true, it really doesn't matter. And then now we're going to be adding the CPU and RAM usage. All this would tell us is how long the bot has been up, but now we're going to take use of the psutil bot, or actually psutil import, and create or get how much data I get, or RAM and CPU usage the bot is actually taking up. So that's actually pretty simple. We don't have to do anything. It's just a simple one-line thing. So we just want to do embed dot add field, and then it's the same thing that we did for the other past four, but this time it's just going to say CPU. And then what we want to do is to value, make sure you f-string this, and then add psutil dot CPU underscore percent add that symbol, and then end it off like so. It should look like that. And then add a percent, because it will be a percent. That will just return an integer value. You want to create that into percent, so just add the percent sign. And this one we'll just keep inline true. And that's basically it for CPU. For RAM, you can essentially just copy it because it is really similar. Change that to RAM, and instead of having CPU percent here, what you actually want to have is virtual memory, but then you want to add brackets and add a 2 in here, and then just have, and it'll just tell you how much percentage of your memory you're actually taking up. And lastly, what we want to do is just do await ctx.send embed equals embed, and boom, that's it. The command works just fine. So we're gonna hop into Discord and we'll check it out. Okay, so here I am in my Discord. The link down below is in the description. Please join. I'm trying to get to 700 members so I could be cool and sit with the cool kids at lunch. Also, please subscribe. It really helps out the channel. But with that out of the way, we can just do dhelp. Make sure the bot is actually online, and we see one command, which is the command that we just made, stats. So now if we do these stats, there you go. It tells us how many days it's been up for, 0, hours, minutes, and I just started at 34 seconds ago, and it's using up 7.7% and 60%. And like, hey, this is a lot. So this bot, it'll actually be a lot lower because it will only show you the host. Right now, this is self-hosted on my PC, so it's showing me actually how much my PC entirely is taking up RAM. And I have OBS, Discord, Visual Studio Code, Spotify, and all of that open, so it will take up quite a bit of my 16 gigabytes of RAM. My CPU is just chilling, but if we do it again, after all that talking, this will update. Now it's 1 minute and 14 seconds, and it'll keep on going. You could watch that counter tick up if you like, or if you don't, you don't have to. But yeah, thanks for watching today's video. It's been a blast to make, and until next time, go stay out. See ya.